So let me put this to the side. Then let's get these people started. People are just like, cray cray. Hi, everybody. Oh, I like how I look on TikTok. YouTube has to do something and give us some filters. Okay. YouTube has to give us filters. We need filters. We need filters. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Tochi. For those of you who don't know me, Papa Dr. Tochi, Mama of the men's and the women's. Welcome to Donette Love 4639 to Pathfinder. Welcome to the family. Zen Vibrations. Christians have been trying to recruit me on TikTok, but I ain't falling for it. Elizabeth Asemura. Okay, nice to see you, Elizabeth. Hey everyone, today's class is going to be fast and furious because I do have another class to attend in an hour's time, a mastermind class that I signed up for. So today's class is going to be fast and furious. If I don't get through all the material that I need to get through today, we'll catch up with it a bit later. Okay. So let me get my notebook. Be sure to get your drink, your snack, your notebook, and your pen. I have my own notebook here, as you can see. All right. So we want to be making sure that we're notating that which we need to notate. Okay. All right. Okay, so welcome to today's class. Make sure you have your notebook and your pen so that you can take the notes. Today's class is going to be fast and furious. Fast and furious. All right. I need to go get, today is hair day, so you can see my hair. Today is hair day. Usually it takes me a couple of hours just to wash my hair, wash and condition my hair. My hair is that thick. So before I do anything with my hair, I have to psych myself up, and I had to psych myself for 2 days just to touch this hair. Okay, like take a look at this. See that? My fingers can't even you can't run your, like, see, I can't even do that, run your fingers through the hair. That is how thick my hair is. So before I do anything with my hair, it's like I have to psych myself up, like go, 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 go before I touch this hair. And it's actually pretty long, my natural hair. Like you can see how long the hair is. Zen vibrations, be thankful for hair. I'm bald. See that? Yeah. And there was a time I wanted to lock my hair, and my hair wouldn't lock. And I'm doing everything. I even went to the loctician, paid good money to start having it lock. It wouldn't lock. And now the hair locks on its own. It's like if I leave this hair overnight, the way it is now, by tomorrow morning, it's going to start locking. So I really don't even know what the deal is. Okay. So, so let's get into today's class. Remember that if you need to get a hold of me for your divination, spiritual consultation, spiritual counseling, dream interpretation, spiritual practice coaching, and more, please go to my website at drtochi.us. Not well, you can get me at drtochi.us, but drtochi.com or tochi.us. You can get me there. Okay. Just a quick announcement. I have discontinued spiritual practice coaching for the year. We are in November, so I need to round up and finish with the folks who are um, already in coaching. So if you are interested in coaching, just send me the email. You can read the information on my coaching page on my website, but I'm not taking any new coachees until January. Okay, I'm trying to wrap up, folks, and then just um, spend some time taking care of myself because I've just been running myself raggedy. Okay, so I won't be taking any coaching students starting this November until January. So January I will start taking. But if you're interested, you can send me an email and let me know, and I'll put you on a wait list so you'll know when I open it up again. Okay, I will be doing a workshop on altars this month. Please watch my platforms for the announcement, how to set up your ancestor altar and altar hygiene, how to work your altar. I'm going to put it out, and it's going to be a 1-day class, so it's not going to be expensive at all. So if you've ever wanted to put together your own ancestor altar, which you can use to put up in practically almost any other kind of altar, you want to attend this workshop. Okay. And I don't want it to last more than 2 or 3 hours. And usually the reason why it lasts 2 or 3 hours is because people have questions. Okay. So let me turn up the volume on this so that the TikTok folks can hear me. Okay. Thank you, Auntie Mazuba. Yeah, I'm lucky because some of my friends, my peers we went to school with, some of them have receding hairlines, and then their hair is over here. But some of it is also because of hairstyling practices. I noticed that when I have certain people braid my hair, when they start braiding the fringe here too tight, the hair in the front gets really, really short. So I had to stop that. And then what I do, like you see that? See how short that is? You see? This, see how short? This is like really short. And so I have to be jealous in preserving my hairline because what some of these braiders will do is they will grab these hair and they'll pull the living daylights out of your hair. And you keep on telling them, please don't do it. And they'll say, oh, it's not going to look neat if we don't do it. So for me to get my hairline back, like you can see the hair here, I had to start twisting my own hair for several months because my hair was just like getting, abysmally damaged. It was just getting horribly damaged. Okay. Okay, this is not spam. Okay. All right, so let's get into today's class. All right. So those are the two important announcements we have. Remember that next Saturday we have the advanced members class. Okay. And I will be teaching some of the things that we got from the online retreat. And then, no, next week is the general members class. And then the week after that is the advanced members class, where I'm going to be sharing some of the things that we learned from the advanced members class. So let's get into it. 7 things, 7 goals that you need to start having for your spirituality. Like I was saying the other day, many of us are brought to spirituality because of problems. Okay? Many of us are brought to spirituality because of problems. And if we didn't have problems, we would not be we would not be having a spiritual life. Okay. As for me, menopause and hormone imbalance, my hair is so fine. I'm terrified of washing it. You gotta wash your hair, baby girl. Because if you don't wash your hair, you're blocking your hair follicles. You're making, and it'll be more difficult for your hair to grow. You want to make sure that your scalp and your hair follicles are clean. And then any nutrients you're putting in the hair and in your scalp will be better absorbed. You need to wash. And then you want to take some biotin. I find that some biotin, I think biotin is what, is that B6? Somebody help me out. I forgot. It's one of the B vitamins, biotin. It will help your hair, skin, and nails like crazy. Go get you some biotin supplements. This is my hair without biotin supplements. If I take biotin supplements for just 1 month, my hair is going to be like Sambisa Forest, where the Boko Haram people are hiding. Okay, if I take biotin, I'm already hairy. Okay, so if I tried that once I started taking biotin, it was like my hair was like, and I had to stop because it was hard for me to manage my hair. So, and my hair is so thick and so coarse, and um, sometimes even my arms get tired just trying to do twists. Sometimes I would just twist 1/3 of my head and roam around with my head like that for 2, 3 days, and then try to do a little bit more of my head. That's how thick my hair is. And sometimes when I go to get my hair braided, you can hear the braiders already complaining. Oh my God, your hair is so thick. It's so thick. You have a lot of hair. And once the braider starts complaining, I never go back there again. I just don't bother. I don't go back there again. All right. So 7 things that need to be targets of your spirituality. Let's go. One of the things that people want when they go for their spirituality is clarity. And there are a lot of people who go into spirituality because of the confusion that they experience while being in organized religion. Okay. They may have dreams, they may have questions about their experiences, they may have problems, and they find that organized religion or whoever's leading whatever branch of organized religion that they're into cannot help them and doesn't have answers. And we have a lot of that in the Abrahamic religions where you will say, here's a problem I'm facing. And instead of someone giving you a practical answer to your problem, they will quote the Bible, or they'll quote the Tanakh, or they'll quote the Quran. And at the moment they're doing the quoting, you're like, oh, okay, you know, that sounds good. That sounds nice. That feels inspirational. But then when you go home and start thinking more and more about that quotation, it still is not solving the problem. And a lot of people find that, yes, when they are in organized religion, they are required to have faith. Well, have faith, be patient, have faith, be patient. And they're having faith and they're being patient, but their problems are not being solved. So some people will say, you know what, I want to do something. I want to have a sense that I have some measure of control over my life. I want to do something. And so they start switching to spiritual paths. Some people in the process of switching to spiritual path will jump from one religion to another. So they may go to, say, an indigenous traditional religion, and they think that an indigenous traditional religion is the same as a spiritual path. And after a while, they discover that they just switched one religion for another. Okay. And when people discover they've switched one religion for another, they're not particularly happy about that, because all you did was you swapped one deity or one spirit guide for another, and you're still being asked to have faith. And people don't want that. Okay, if I'm having faith, how? Okay, it's well and good for you to tell me to have faith, but how is that paying my rent? How is that paying my mortgage? How is that putting food on my table? Okay. And then the other thing that exacerbates the situation is that you'll see people who will be in an organized religion and they're looking at other people in that religion. You know, we as human beings, we're very good at comparing ourselves. So we'll start comparing ourselves to other people. And we're like, why is it that this thing is working for them, but it's not working for me? Maybe I need to go to another religion, another thing, and see if that will work for me. And they have a big car, they have a big house, they have a happy marriage, they got kids, they got money, they got this. Why am I not getting those things too? And so people will jump out from where they are, um, you know, for that. Okay. Another thing, excuse me, another target. So one of the first targets, let me not say another target because I was just talking about why people will leave their religions and start seeking spiritual paths. One goal that people have when they join spirituality is clarity of mind and peace of mind. They want to be clear. They don't want to be struggling with problems inside their head. And they want answers to the problems that they're struggling with inside their head. I remember going to a pastor. I used to attend a Pentecostal church, and I remember the pastor going to a pastor because I was going through a rough financial patch at the time. And I went to that pastor and I said, please pray for me, because there was nothing else I knew that that pastor could do for me. He was living comfortably, he was living well, but he wasn't going to give me out of his money. I knew he wasn't going to give me money. He wasn't going to give me his personal money. Despite the fact that, you know, we all would go to his church and donate money and give contributions, I knew that there was no way I could go to a pastor and say, please help me out with some food money or gas money or things of that nature. Okay. So the best thing I could ask the pastor to do for me was to pray for me. And the pastor said, well, what's going on? I said, well, I don't have a job. I don't have money. And the pastor said to me, well, I can pray for you, but God is not going to answer your prayers. And I said, why is God not going to answer the prayers you pray for me or my prayers? He said, because you have tattoos. And that what for me was the last straw. That for me was the last straw, because I knew the Bible well and I knew it wasn't true. So that for me was the last straw that helped me realize that I was wasting my time in church. Okay. So people who are saying, I want to live a spiritual life, are tired of looking up to people who don't have solutions for them. They want someone who will give them practical solutions. But unfortunately, when we jump out of these major organized religions, we jump into another religion, and there's no guarantee that the leaders of the indigenous religions that we jump into have solutions either. Okay. I had somebody recently who came to me for consultation saying, "Oh, I went for a consultation and I was told I have to do this, and that, and I have to learn how to venerate my ancestors, and I have to learn how to venerate my spirit guides. And I'm in Christianity, and now I have to learn all these things and learn how to do this and learn how to do that." And that's basically jumping from one religion to another. But this woman had practical problems that needed to be addressed. And those problems weren't being addressed because she was thinking, okay, let me go look for something that is aligned with my heritage. And what was aligned with her heritage was another religion. So it was basically changing caps. Okay. When you are practicing your own spirituality, you are in touch with what is true for you. When you're in touch with your spirituality, you get to be in touch what is right for you, not what is right for Dr. Tochi. Hello, Hidden Hebrew Book Club. Okay, you get to be in touch with what is right for you. So one person could join Santeria and its works for them. And they're doing the religious things in Santeria and it works for them. Another person might go and join 21 divisions and it works for them. Another person might go and join voodoo and it works for them. But joining those religions doesn't necessarily mean that the person is on a spiritual path. And we need to understand this. That I'm putting on a fancy attire and I put on some head tie on my head and I'm out there making music and singing and clapping doesn't mean that I'm spiritual. There are a lot of people in Santeria, in Ifa, in Ordinani, in whatever it is that they're practicing, okay, who are neo-pagans. There are some people who are in, yeah, whatever it is that they're doing. Icelandic, what's the name of it? Okay, that think they are practicing spirituality, even Native American, Native Canadian, they think that they are practicing spirituality, but they're not. They're practicing religion because they're doing things rote by rote over and over again. And they don't have a skin in the game. And so they just show up and say, "Oh, you great spirit guides, help me." And they have faith that the spirit guides are going to help them. Or they're like, "Oh, my ancestors, help me." And they have faith that their ancestors are going to help them. But they're not doing anything but have faith. Spirituality is not passive, it is active. If you don't remember anything else, remember this. Spirituality is active, it is not passive. Your spirituality should be moving you forward towards something. But if you're just sitting there every day, just going meditating, oh, I'm going to meditate, I'm just going to meditate. Okay. After you meditate, how are you paying your bills? How are you feeding yourself? So, whatever form of spirituality that you choose to adopt should be leading you towards a goal. And you should be able to do it yourself. If you have to depend on a leader, a guide, a practitioner all the time, you are practicing a religion, not your spirituality. I know this is not a popular sentiment, but remember, we come here to eat of the forbidden fruit. If you cannot do anything by yourself and you have to depend on Dr. Tochi, you are in a religion. If you cannot sit down and do one or two things for yourself, by yourself, you're like, oh, I gotta call Dr. Tochi to do this retro for me. I gotta call Dr. Tochi to do this for me. Or I gotta call Baba this to do this for me. Or I gotta call my yeye. I gotta call my ya. I gotta call my padrino. I gotta call my curandesmo. My curandesmo. I gotta call my uh, bambo. You are in a religion. You are practicing religion, not spirituality. Your spirituality needs to be your north star. You open your spiritual eyes, you're looking at that north star, and the north star leads you home. That is what the spirituality is. Okay? Not every time you have to call somebody, help me, help me, help me. Oh, okay. My husband is leaving me. What should I do? What leaves and seeds and herbs do I need to put together and throw it in his plate so that he will leave that other heifer and come back to me? No. Your spirituality, if you're practicing spirituality correctly, the first step will be your soul, your spirit will tell you if that man you're trying to keep is meant for you or not. Should be able to tell you if you're, oh, I want to go into this line of business, I want to, your own spirit should be able to tell you. You should be able to hear from your spiritual crew as to know, to have an innate sense of, am I going in the direction I'm supposed to go or not? And maybe you're not, and you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Then you're like, you know what? Let me go get a divination to clarify my feelings around this. But your first northern star is you. That is what spirituality is. Not your pastor, not your apostle, not your prophet, not your prophetess, not your imam, not your alpha, not your mufti, not your rabbi, not your priest, not your shaman, not your baba, not your yeye, not Dr. Tochi. What is your spirit telling you about the situation that you are facing? That is spirituality. You should be clear or have some energy awareness about yourself and the field around you. And that's why I put out those exercises that I did last week. And if you haven't seen those exercises or you've seen them and you haven't practiced them, I encourage you to do them. That is a fundamental. Learn how to sense the energy in your body so that you know what's going on with you. And you don't have to wait until things get out of hand. Learn how to sense your energy field around you so that you can anticipate issues before they happen to you. You don't want to be walking and then walk into a pit and then you're there screaming, somebody help me, when you could have avoided the pit in the first place. Okay? So clarity. should be one of the goals of your spirituality. Being clear. This person is for me, is not for me. This environment is for me, is not for me. This situation is for me, is not for me. This job is for me, is not for me. This business is for me, is not for me. This country, this city, this town is for me, is not for me. This school is for me, not for me. This course is for me, is not for me. This relationship is for me, is not for me. Awareness. First goal. Second goal is peace of mind. And there are a lot of people when they start the spiritual journey say, oh, they just love the peace of mind. You're able to go to bed at night and sleep with both eyes closed. And you're not worried that you've offended somebody who's going to come after you. And even if they come after you, you have your spiritual structures in place that will take care of them. Peace of mind. If your spiritual protection is in place, if it is on point, people will come and do what they need to do. You will still be able to sleep with both eyes closed. Because you know you have backup, you have spiritual backup. And your spiritual backup is not human. You're not depending on human backup. Oh, okay. I know my pastor is up all night praying for me. No, your pastor is not up all night praying for you. Your pastor is having conjugal relations with their spouse at night. They're not up there thinking about you all night long. No, they are having conjugal relations with their spouse or their significant other, like they rightly should. Okay. Another thing that I find is very important as a goal, a target that we should have for our spiritual life is being acknowledged. As human beings, we love to be acknowledged, we love to be seen. Many of us who do the strange things we do is because we have a sense that we're not being seen, we're not being heard, we're not being acknowledged. And so we will keep on doing the things we do until we get that sense that we're being seen or being heard. When someone comes to me and says, oh, my wife is always nagging, my husband is always nagging. The reason why they're nagging you is because they don't believe that they have been heard. Once it settles into their spirit that they have been heard, they will not repeat that thing that they've been saying. But if the person keeps on repeating it over and over and over and over again, it's because they believe they haven't been heard. Or if they've been heard, they haven't been acknowledged. And it's not just saying, okay, okay, I've heard you, I heard what you said. You said you don't like it when I come home late. Okay, I heard it, I heard it, I heard it. There are certain actions that you take that confirm to the person that you have heard them and you've acknowledged what they're complaining about. They can even sense it from the energy field. Has your energy changed around this issue they are complaining about? And so you will have a husband, for instance, saying, I don't know why my wife is nagging me and she's bringing up those things from 15 years ago. Well, she's bringing up things from 15 years ago that you fail to acknowledge, that you fail to address. That's why she's bringing it up, because you didn't address it, you didn't acknowledge it, you didn't close the issue. So it's still an open book issue. When you are living a spiritual life, and you are living it correctly, you get to the point where Being witnessed by your spiritual crew is sufficient. And so this is the reason why you can go to your altar or go to your shrine, and you will say what you have to say to your spiritual crew, and you'll be okay. You don't need to repeat it again. You don't need to tell anybody again. You don't need to have verbal diarrhea over it anymore. But you have to have that sense that A, your spiritual crew is there, B, they're listening to you, C, that they will take care of it so that you can leave it alone. If you are just practicing religion under the guise of spirituality, it will be very difficult for you to feel witnessed by your spiritual group. And it happens to the best of us. And this is why you would have a spiritual practitioner, for instance, they're at their altar or shrine or whatever, sacred space, whatever, and they're carrying on and yelling and screaming and carrying on. And all they get in return, I don't know why, is whenever I'm trying to have a class, all these people are zooming by in their souped up trucks. Okay. So this is why you have some spiritual practitioners. They will be yelling and screaming and carrying on and shouting and commanding and doing all kinds of things in their sacred space and their spiritual silence. Because even they themselves are not connected. They don't even know who or what is witnessing them aside of you. And so you go there and you come away without a sense that something happened because they were just going through the motions. And many of us are like that. Even ordinary people who are not spiritual practitioners will also have that sense, okay, where, yeah, I'm here carrying on and saying all these things and, doing all these things, to get the attention of my spiritual crew. But if I'm not connected, I'm doing it in vain. When you are connected to your spiritual crew and you are aware that you are connected to something that's greater than you, and that you are also connected to your own spirit, you will feel seen, you will feel acknowledged, you will feel heard, you will feel visible. And this is why you may have an orphan or a widow, or even you. Let's say you've been working on something, it's not been working out. You're at the end of your rope. You don't know what else to do. And from the depths of your heart, you start crying and you surrender. And you say, you know what? I am not going to engage in any of these performance things I've been doing before. I, if there is something bigger and greater than me out there, I'm addressing this to you. Take care of this because that's it. And it comes from your heart. In that moment that emotion is rising within you, you make connection. Because now you are no longer performing. And many of us are into performative spirituality. We got to look a certain way. We got to talk a certain way. We got to walk a certain way. We're going to, do our hand gestures in a certain way. And somewhere in our minds, we believe that if we do these things, that is being spiritual. And this is what spiritual people do. But it's not. Being visible is that the authentic part of yourself is out in full display. The authentic part of you is out in full display. And you set that authentic self out there in full display. And you operate from that authentic self. So that's the reason why when we cry in that state, we usually provoke a response. Because if I've done all that I can possibly do, and I'm at the bottom of the pit, there's nowhere else I can go. There's no one else to help me. There's no one else to answer me. No one to come to my rescue. No savior is coming. And I'm like, you know what? The lipstick is off, the eyeshadow is off, the blush, the makeup, the hair is off, the nails are off, the lashes are off. I'm crying from the depths of my soul. My authentic self emerges, rises, and shines. And I'm now operating from my inner authority. And I'm saying, that's it. I've done all the best I can do. I don't see a way out of this situation. I'm calling on you, higher power or higher powers, plural, to deal with this. And if you choose not to deal with it, that's it. If I live, I live. If I perish, I perish. That's not just the ordinary you speaking. It's the authentic you. It is your spirit speaking in that moment. And that is why when we're at that point, we will provoke a response from the universe. Because when I am crying, when you are crying and saying there's nothing else I can do, I am here, I am hungry, I'm naked, I am unprotected, I'm unsheltered, whatever the situation may be, we're no longer performing. We're no longer concerned about public opinion. We're no longer concerned about people's approval. You're no longer concerned about what anybody is saying about you. You're not concerned about gossip. You're not concerned about haters. You're not concerned about lovers. You're not concerned about appearances. You're just saying, you know what? I'm at the end of my tether. I'm at the bottom of the pit and I can't find my way out. And many of us will experience that when we go through that spiritual experience known as the dark night of the soul. If you want to learn more about the dark night of the soul, you can watch my free video class on YouTube on that topic. What happens during the dark night of the soul? Why does the dark night of the soul happen? Or what you should do if you find yourself going through the dark night of the soul, when the heavens are like brass over your head. You are praying and none of your prayers are being answered. You are crying and no one is responding. Okay? That's when you gain a lot of spiritual visibility. And when you become spiritually visible, things start happening. Things start happening. Okay? Another goal of your spiritual life is spiritual power, gaining spiritual power. Some people are born into this world spiritually powerful, strong. They come out, you know how like you buy a device and the manufacturers have already charged the battery and you can start using the device right away. And there's some other devices you will buy and the manufacturer, the instruction says, well, plug it into an outlet and charge it before you start using it because it doesn't have enough charge. That's analogous to what's happening with some of us. Some of us come to this world and we're fully charged. And some people come and they have a low charge and they need to charge up. But everybody has a modicum of spiritual power. There's nobody who shows up here with zero spiritual power. If you showed up here with zero spiritual power, you are not alive. It's that simple. But some people's spiritual power is stronger than some other people's spiritual power. And we use our spirituality to build up our power. We don't use religion to build up spiritual power. We use our spirituality and our spiritual practices. It's a tool. Because in the process of gaining clarity about ourselves, gaining clarity about our bodies, our energy fields, our environments, and getting peace of mind and being self-directed and learning how to operate from our inner authority, being able to have more control over the outcomes we want to manifest, our spiritual power starts building and starts increasing. There are some people who are good at psychology, and they can intimidate you with their words or their appearance, but it doesn't mean that they're spiritually powerful. And we have to know the difference. There are a lot of people who are out there doing things. I don't have to name names. Okay. You can look within your own community, your own state, your own country, your own region, and you know those people. When they come out, everybody's like, oh my God. But if you were to challenge them in a spiritual sense, they would fall. And so they have other kinds of power. They may have financial power, political power, knowledge power, but they don't have spiritual power. Okay? Now, another point, another goal for our spirituality is to fulfill our life destiny. If you do not fulfill your life destiny, you will not be happy. And note that I'm using the word destiny as opposed to purpose. Decades of motivational speakers, inspirational speakers have put out this thing, oh, find your life purpose and everything will fall into place. Find your life purpose. We have many life purposes. I have life purpose as a wife. I have a life purpose as a mother. I have life purpose as a teacher. I have life purpose as a woman. But it doesn't mean that that's my destiny. My life purposes come together and help me to fulfill the destiny, the reason why I'm here. I'm here to be a spiritual practitioner. And everything that being a spiritual practitioner entails. So I could be an engineer and still be a spiritual practitioner and use the skills I acquire as an engineer and apply it to my spiritual practice. Because as an engineer, I learned discipline. I learned rational thinking. I learn how to think logically. I learn how to create systems. I learn how to create structures. I learn how to decipher patterns. And I take these skills and apply it to my spiritual practice. So if somebody comes to my practice and they're telling me a story, oh, I married my first husband and he used me as a punching bag. Married my second husband, he used me as a punching bag. I have a boyfriend now, he's using me as a punching bag. I see the pattern. And to you, that might seem like a trivial skill. Oh, yeah, that's yeah. Anybody with half a brain could see that, but you'd be amazed at how many of us have half brains and cannot see it. I have friends who are spiritual practitioners who can't see that. They can't see that pattern. And so if such a person comes to them, they will say to them, "Oh yeah, your water spirit guides are angry at you. You need to go do a water offering." They don't see the pattern. Oh yeah, it's the witches that are attacking you and they don't want you to be married. Yeah, so each time you get married, they cause problems between you and your husband. They don't see the pattern. They don't see the whole picture. They don't have an overview of the system. But because of that life purpose as an engineer and recognizing patterns, and also as an engineer learning how to find the root cause of a problem, I can apply that to my coaching. I can apply that to my divination. So if I do a divination for you and I see what the root cause is, it will tell me, is it spiritual problems? Maybe you're not answering a spiritual call. Is it from you? You have unhealed issues, unhealed trauma. Is it from your mother's lineage, father's lineage? Is it some people stirring up problems for you? Is it because you're living in the wrong place, wrong location, hanging out with the wrong people? There are so many reasons why that something is causing that pattern. And sometimes it's more than one reason. So maybe you're called to spiritual practice and you are thirsty. A combination of you being called to spiritual practice and you being thirsty is causing the problem. That's finding the red X. Now we know what the problem is. We can start honing in on the solutions. So you find out, and that's why I have that video. It's a free video class I have on YouTube called "The Difference Between your life destiny and life purpose." And if you haven't watched it, I encourage you to go watch it. So people get confused. Oh, I want to know the purpose of my life. The purpose of your life is to populate the earth. Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye. But is that your destiny? Is that what you're here to do? Is that what you're here to accomplish? I have some people showing up to me for divination and saying, "Why am I alive?" And I say, the reason why you're alive is because you're breathing and your heart is pumping. That's why you're alive. If you stop breathing and your heart stopped pumping, you would not be alive. Have I answered all your questions? Can I go have some jollof rice now and leave you to this? And you see the person getting discombobulated. Okay, how many, uh, let me see if folks are listening. How many goals have I addressed so far? Because I'm about to round up the class. Remember, I said I have to go for another class in about an hour. So now I have about, what, 7 minutes. How many out of 7 have I addressed in today's class? Anyone? Out of the 7, how many have I addressed? Auntie Mazuba is right. I've addressed 5. Auntie Mazuba wins the prize. So, Auntie Mazuba, you have won a free dream interpretation. Send me an email. She was right. I mean, she was the fastest. So which means we have 2 more topics, right? But I have to hop off. So I will see about doing let's chat maybe tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and then we will tackle the other 2 topics. Yay! Auntie Mazuba. Okay. I hope you've learned something from today's class. If you've learned something, let's have your AYE, in the comment section. Have you learned something? Okay, I'm seeing some other people coming in after the fact, saying 5. You were not the fastest fingers. Okay. Hi, Beauty Brilliance. Okay. If you've learned something from today's class, let's have your AYE in the comment section. I want you to know why you are living a spiritual life or you're attracted to spiritual life. I want you to know what to get out of a spiritual life. The purpose of your spiritual life is not to switch religions and go from depending on one person to another person. That's not the point. If that's what you're doing your spirituality wrong. Okay? If that's what you're doing your spirituality wrong. Okay? I want you to have powerful spiritual lives. I want you to have a fulfilling spiritual life. I want you to be able to use your spirituality as a tool to start enhancing your life. Having peace of mind is not the final bus stop. Being spiritually powerful is not the final bus stop. Having people fear you is not the final bus stop. Appearing spiritual to the world is not your final bus stop. It's problem solving. You need to be able to tackle the obstacles that will come your way while you're trying to fulfill your life destiny. Okay. All right. We're thankful to our Creator, our guardian spirits, our ancestors, and our spirit guides for today's forbidden fruit. May it continue to yield plenteous fruits in our lives and in our consciousness. Ashe, Ise, Kimago, Tokoza, Lesedi, Makwande, Ibabo. It is done, it's finished, it's complete in you now. Obrigado. Amen. Ma'at. Thank you all for coming to class. Let me just take 2 minutes, run to the bathroom, and go attend my master class. And hopefully, I'm going to learn some things in this master class I'm about to attend that I can share with y'all down the road. You know, I just love learning new things. So this is an opportunity for me to learn from someone who knows more than I do in their area of expertise. So love you all. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. You're welcome, Elder Light.